guys, this is Grace and welcome to my channel and welcome to the fourth video in my digging through my stash A to Z style, I guess you should say. This time I am working with the letter D and I'm going to be working with my doilies. I don't know about you, but there was a time where doilies was a big trend and I really liked it. But then I stopped using it and I was looking through my stash a few weeks ago and I noticed that I have a ton of doilies still. So I'm going to try to make or use as much of them as I can in this video. I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't even make a dent in my stash, but that's, I feel like using it here a little bit is better than nothing. So that's kind of like my goal. And so the way I'm going to use my doilies is I'm just going to actually use it as kind of a border on my layout. I decided to adhere that on the top and the bottom of my page. And I thought, well, the best way to adhere these really dainty papers is to use some spray adhesive. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to spray them. But then I thought, well, I'm going to make them go all the way to the edge, and so I'm going to end up having to cut them anyways. And so I decided, why don't I cut them first so that I don't gunk my scissors with some adhesive. So that's why I decided to pull them out again out of my little box where I used to put my items so I can spray my adhesive on there and that the spray won't go everywhere on my table. Believe me, this is a lesson learned the hard way for me. So now I have a box. But anyways, so I'm using some tweezers and I'm gonna adhere those doilies that I had cut. I didn't cut them exactly in the middle. I cut them slightly on one end just because in my mind I wanted this to stagger. I didn't want the doilies to all be the same height, and so that's why I cut them in half. And I'm just kind of mix and matching. I'm working with the red, white, and pink here, and so I'm deciding to make sure that they're all scattered on my layout. Now, if I wasn't using some spray adhesive, I'd probably kind of move them around because as you can see, that red and the pink was covered up way too much than I would like, and plus it's a shorter one. I should have put that red one under and then the pink one over, but it's already adhered. I'm not going to worry about it because this is what layout 1000 out of all of the ones that I've made. So I'm not going to stress out about it too much. But if you were recreating this and you want it to be perfect, I would suggest kind of thinking over which ones the bigger ones, and that will be the ones that you adhere first before you adhere these smaller or shorter pieces. And so again, I just used, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I only used like 6 or 7 of this. So I didn't really use that much just because I cut them in half, but that's going to be the top and the bottom of my layout. And these doilies I actually got at Michael's when they would have their after holiday sale, and this one, as you can tell, is kind of a Valentine's themed, so I went in there and shopped after Valentine's and got this for like 50% off, and that's why they're that color. And I'm going to put that as top and the bottom, and then I'm going to use a different set of doilies for the center of my layout. But first, if you know me, I like to border my layouts or create a border around my layouts, and so I have this brown paper, a cardstock that I am going to use on the back side of my layout. And because it's a back side, I decided to gut the inside of it so I can use that as a mat actually for the photos for this layout. Speaking of photos, I have 4 photos here. They're actually 4 by 4. 3 of them are vertical and 1 is horizontal. And these are just pictures of our annual trip to Tucano's. We have a Tucano's restaurant here in town. It's a Brazilian all-you-can-eat restaurant, and we like to go there during birthdays for our family. My son and I, one of my sons and I, share a birthday month, and if you sign up for Tucanos, they give you a free meal on your birthday month. So we usually go in July so that we can save 2 meals, because then two of us are free. And so I'm just going to adhere the adhesives here. I am using some more strip adhesive because I am waiting to use up all of my stash of adhesive before I go and purchase some more of my ATG gun refill. But I have to tell you, if you are any fan of ATG refill, you probably know how I feel that I am missing my my gun right now. So anyways, I'm just going to power through and use up the adhesive that I have before I purchase any new ones. So I wasn't really planning on matting my photos, but I've noticed that it needed to stand out against the background, and so I decided to do that. And I'm sorry the color of my photos are not very good here. I'm still trying to find where is the best way to place my lights. For some reason, they're just not bouncing off right on my photos. But anyways, I am going to trim my photos. At first, I decided to not trim them because it's an extra work. But I noticed that because they are 4 inches, and if I lay two verticals on top of each other, I'm not going to have enough room to cover or to have the mat go all around my photo collage. So I decided to trim them, but I decided to trim them way shorter so that that bottom piece will match the 3-inch size of my horizontal photo. So now I'm trying to see to figure out the placement of them. Do I want that extra brown to show on the left, or I want that on the right? And so you're going to see me move things around here. But I am convinced, or I have planned, that I am going to put those photos on the mat just to make it stand out a little bit more. And this is a little bit longer of a video than I normally do, just because I decided not to cut out the thinking process of me creating this layout. I don't know. Let me know in the description box below. Do you like longer videos when it comes to watching scrapbook videos, or do you want me to just kind of skip or take out all of the thinking parts of my process, or do you like that? Do you like to see that? Let me know in the description box below. So now I've decided that I am going to make those layouts, or the photos rather, flush all the way to the left instead of to the right. And because I wanted my doilies to go on the right. And those doilies are Maggie Holmes. I got that one a Tuesday morning, and basically they're bigger and they're more sturdier of a paper, and the colors are white and gold, which is really fancy, I felt, and it matched kind of the fancy tone that I want this layout to have, because we did go in a fancy restaurant, or fancier than what we normally eat at, and so I decided to go with that. Now I am going to adhere these doilies first before I put the photos, just because I know that they are going to go under. Most of them are going to go under my photos, so I wanted to kind of see where they're going to lay so I know where to cut them, because as you can see, that white was overlapping my photos on the bottom, and of course I don't want that. So I want to make sure that I see where that's going to lay first before I adhere anything. And that's kind of the big tip that I want you to take away from, if you're working with doilies or any circle accent for that matter. If they're going to go and be tucked behind anything, make sure that you put them into consideration first, because when you layer items, they're going to go underneath. And so you don't want them to show on the foreground if that's meant to be tucked. And so that's what I'm doing here. And it will work out. And believe me, I'm not saying that because I'm an expert on it. As you can tell in the beginning, I made my mistake. And so, yeah, try not to make my own same mistake. I guess that's why I'm giving you that hint. So I hope that you guys are liking these videos of digging through my stash A through Z style. If you are liking this and you want to play along, make sure that you just put in your social media the hashtag digging through my stash. my scrap stash. I think that's what I used the hashtag for in this one. And so that I can see that. And if you want to comment and link the direct link, that would be super as well, so that I can make sure to go ahead and see what you've done, because I'm always inspired by other people as well. All right, so I went and kind of dug through all of my stuff and trying to see, because at this point, well, when I started this, I should say, all I really had in my mind was that I wanted to use the doilies and the photos that I wanted to use. I didn't have any idea of my title, didn't have an idea of where my journaling is going to go. All of that stuff was not I haven't thought about it at that point. And so I'm kind of just going through, I went through my thicker stash, and I had a birthday set, and there was a word hooray for that. And so I used that, and then I married that with some mini letter stickers, because I have a few of those as well. And so I just spelled out 4 birthdays so that I can have 2 different fonts for my title. And then I was going through my journaling blocks and trying to figure out, do I want journaling strips? Do I want like a 3x4 card? And then I finally decided to go with a tag, just because, I haven't used a tag in a while. So why not? So that's what I'm doing here. And I haven't done handwritten journaling in a while as well. So why not? I decided to add some pencil lines first before I did my journaling, just to make sure that my lines are straight. I am handwriting this and using cursive, so I wanted a little bit more organization with my writing, and so I decided to do some lines instead, or first, so make sure that they're all straight, or as straight as I can make it. And so now I'm just erasing the lines here to make sure that that's all neat and clean, or nice and clean, I should say. And then I'm figuring, okay, there's a tag and there's a hole in it, so I need to kind of finish off that tag. And since I use some pinks in the doily and pinks in my title, I decided to go with a pink thread. At this point, I didn't know what kind of thread I'm going to use, but then I have this jar that has just a bunch of trims, kind of scrap trims. And so I found this pink, well, lighter pink twine, and so I'm just going to use that. It's a thicker one than the ones that I have in that top basket that you see on my screen, but I like it. It's lighter than the one that I was going to use, and it was just the right kind of tone or hue for this particular layout. And so I'm going to finish this off with some enamel hearts, and that's basically my layout. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the description box below if you have any questions, and if you like these videos, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing and hitting that bell button so that YouTube will notify you when I do post a new layout. And as always, I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you guys another day. Bye.